All right, we're going to start by going over a homework, which was the odds on this assignment that we affectionately called completing the square 3. So I'm just going to start by doing these as quickly as we can so we can move on. Let's go to work. Number 1, complete the square. I'm going to have a squared plus 16a, leave a space, minus 61 equals 0. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 8 squared is 64, so I'm going to add 64 and subtract 64. I can quickly factor this because it's a perfect square trinomial to be a plus 8. Where'd that 8 come from? Well, just a second ago, I took 16 and divided by 2, and it gave me 8. So there we go. And then combine those two like terms on the outside, which is a negative 125 equals 0. How many people got that one? Number 3. N plus 6n space minus 29 equals 0, parenthesis. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and then I'll square it. So plus 9 minus 9. So n plus 3, quantity squared, minus 38 equals 0. How many people got that one? There we go. There we go. Just want to point out this 3 right here, that when I divide that, is what's on the inside when I'm factoring that perfect square trinomial really quickly. All right, number 5, now we're getting to ones that have leading coefficient. And I don't like that leading coefficient. It becomes a little bit of a problem for me. So I need to factor it out. Okay, so I'm going to factor it out of just those first two terms. To where I have 8 times a squared plus 16a. I'm going to make this one a bracket. That's what I started doing yesterday. Make it a bracket instead of parentheses so we can see the difference here. Minus 76 equals 0. I got to have a parenthesis on the inside here. 16 divided by 2. Oops, that's not 16, is it? I almost made a boo-boo. It's going to be 2 because I'm pulling out that a. Right? I'm pulling out the 8. Sorry about that. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. So I'm going to add 1, subtract 1. Now I can factor to have a plus 1, quantity squared, minus 1, minus 76 equals 0. And that 8 had to come down too. Now I got to distribute that 8 back in. Distribute it there and there. So I have 8 times a plus 1, quantity squared, minus 8, minus 76 equals 0. I can combine those two like terms to have 8a plus 1, quantity squared, minus 84. How do we do? Good. That's it? That's all? Got that one right? Did we see our mistake then? All right. Number 7. Now I can pull out a 6, and I can pull out a 6 on everything here. So I'll do that. 6 left with r squared minus 2r minus 3 equals 0. So far, so good? All right. Well, I need a perfect square trinomial in here. So 6r minus 2r space minus 3 equals 0. And negative 2 divided by 2 is 1. Squared is plus 1 minus 1. So 6 parenthesis r minus 1 quantity squared minus 4 equals 0. Last step, distribute that 6 back inside. So I have 6 times r minus 1 quantity squared minus 24 equals 0. How many people got that one right? That's better. Reminder, this is the hardest we got to do. We can do this. We can do it all. Yes? Number 9. I can pull out a 10. 10 left with x squared plus 2x. I'm going to go ahead and leave my space. Minus 8 equals 0. So I'm trying to make a perfect square trinomial here. So plus 1 minus 1. So I now have 10 times x plus 1 quantity squared minus 9 equals 0. Distribute the 10. 10 times x plus 1 quantity squared minus 90 equals 0. We got that one? Number 11. I can pull out a 7 here. So 7 times m squared plus 2m space minus 3 equals 0. In that space, I'm going to make my perfect square. Plus 1 minus 1. But it's funny, I keep getting that 2 in the middle. That's why I can do that so fast. Just throwing that out there. So 7 times m plus 1 quantity squared minus 4 equals 0. Distribute my 7 back in. 7 times m plus 1 quantity squared minus 28 equals 0. Some of us are rocking it. Others, not so much. What can I pull out here? A 7. 7 times n squared plus 2n space minus... Oh, I can't pull out a 7, can I? Not out of everything. Ooh, like that. I can only pull it out of here. The 7 doesn't go into 24. So I'll leave my space. Minus 24 equals 0. See the difference between this one and the others? Since I couldn't pull out, I put a bracket around it. Like this previous one, I could pull this 7 out of everything here. So I did, and everything went inside the parenthesis. But this one, I cannot pull that 7 out of that 24. So I leave it on the outside, and I'm going to use a bracket. Okay? So here we go. I still need a perfect square trinomial in here. Plus 1 minus 1. So 7 times n plus 1 quantity squared minus 1 minus 24. Now see, at this point, I got to distribute this 7 here and here, but I don't add it to that negative 24 until after I distribute. So I have 7 times n plus 1 quantity squared minus 7 minus 24 equals 0. Now I combine those two like terms. 7 times n plus 1 quantity squared minus 31 equals 0. Somebody got that one? Oh, good. Good. Again, on 15, this last one, I can take out a 10 from these first two terms, but not the third one. So I have with 10 n squared minus 2 n space minus 33 equals 0.
You got 2n or 10n.
You know, I take out the n, then I won't have a perfect. I won't be able to make a perfect square on the inside. Yes, I could take out a 10n, but it doesn't allow me to make a perfect square trinomial. Good question. So on the inside, I'm going to go plus 1 minus 1. So 10 times n minus 1 quantity squared minus 1 minus 33 equals 0. Distribute the 10 back in. 10 times n minus 1 quantity squared minus 10 minus 33 equals 0. So I have 10 times n minus 1 squared minus 43 equals 0. And there you have it. Questions, comments, concerns on completing the square? Excellent.
You go over 16.
Well, we didn't have to do 16. Nope.